Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back. If you're new, welcome. My name is Georgia. So this could be nothing or it could be something. As you guys know, right now, the mayor of New York City has been indicted and has been charged. He has turned himself in and has been released until sometime this week. He goes back in front of the judge. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. You know, before all of this happened, his administration was under investigation. Nobody has been charged from the administration. However, you know, a lot of people's phones were seized, people's homes were searched and stuff like that, not showing what the federal government is looking for. And during this time, when all the investigation was going on, we found out that the school chancellor and the New York City deputy mayor were dating each other and actually lived together. So now we come across an article from the New York Times. I'm finding out this morning that they got married over the weekend. The chancellor and the deputy mayor got married over the weekend. So we're going to read this New York Times article together and see what their opinion is of that. Because from what I know of the justice system, which is very little, that spouses cannot testify against each other. So I'm wondering if this wedding was already planned or did they just do a spur of the moment thing. From what I'm seeing, the picture I'm gonna post on, it's I don't see them in a gown or anything. I mean, her in a gown or anything, just she's in it. Well, let's read it and see. Maybe this is not the photo from the wedding. Maybe it's something else. All right, so it says, top Adams aides get married as investigation swirls around them. Eric Adams, school's chancellor and first deputy mayor, married in Martha's Vineyard this weekend. Both have had their phones seized by federal investigators. At a wedding in Martha's Vineyard, key players in City Hall sought refuge this weekend from the several federal investigations plaguing Mayor Eric Adams' administration. A day after Mr. Adams pleaded not guilty to criminal charges including bribery and fraud, Sheena Wright, Mr. Adams' first deputy mayor, and David C. Banks, the school's chancellor, married on the island in Massachusetts, according to 3 people familiar with their plans. Their marriage was said to have been planned for some time. Okay. And it followed a years-long relationship during which they shared a home. But it might also allow Mr. Banks and Ms. Wright to claim spousal privilege, which gives them the right to decline to testify against each other in court, should that become necessary, legal experts said. Okay, so they were planned. This wedding was planned. The couple's home in Harlem was visited by federal authorities in early September. Both Mr. Banks and Ms. Wright phones were seized by investigators who appeared to be conducting separate inquiry from the one that resulted in Mr. Adams' indictment. The couple had intended to get married this summer, but Ms. Wright's mother fell ill, according to 2 of the people familiar with their plans. The third person said the couple had been making wedding plans for a while, well before their phones were seized. The 3 people asked not to be named to preserve their relationship with the couple. Regardless of when Mr. Bank and Ms. Wright originally planned to marry, Saturday's ceremony could help the couple weather the investigations, said Erin Murphy, a professor at the New York University School of Law. Under the law, she noted, spousal privilege is very broad and allows for very few exceptions. Ms. Murphy said that Mr. Banks and Ms. Wright would have also asserted a common law marriage, because they've been living together for so long. This strikes me as 2 people in a long-term committed relationship who perhaps choose to formalize that relationship for legal clarity or to ensure access to the privileges the state gives to marriages, Ms. Murphy said. All 3 people familiar with the wedding plans disputed the idea that the couple were getting married to invoke spousal privilege. Mr. Banks refers to Ms. Wright as the love of his life, both publicly and privately, according to the people. These people have been in love and engaged for a while, and the vineyard is their happy place, one of the people said. They need a little bit of joy. The mayor was not present at the wedding, according to a schedule released by the office. Instead, Mr. Adams, who had adamantly denied the charges against him, visited two historically African churches over the weekend to shore up support among a key base. The mayor, who has often leaned on the black church for political messaging in friendly environments during moments of crisis, told the receptive crowd inside the Emmanuel Presbyterian Reformed Church in the Bronx on Sunday that his faith-centered schedule was no different from usual. Mr. Adams said he had a simple message for the New Yorkers who may have lost confidence in his ability to lead. Watch me, quote unquote. He said his resolve was strengthened by the story of our ancestors who know what hard times are, and repeated a forceful declaration that he would not resign. You hear the small number of loud people saying, well, he should step down, Mr. Adams said. No, I'm not going to step down, he continued as the crowded sanctuary erupted into thunderous applause. He was not the only one on Sunday to deliver a political speech in a church. Zelnor Myrie, a state senator who is running for mayor, appeared to criticize the posture of figures like Mr. Adams at Bedford Central Presbyterian Church in central Brooklyn, an area that the current mayor once represented in Albany. Quote, they came to our churches, they shake our hands, they walk on our parades, Mr. Myrie said, but when it comes time to heal our suffering, our leaders remain silent, unquote. Later, he urged the congregation, do not let anyone use your suffering as a spectacle. Many state and local leaders, including Mr. Myrie, have joined growing chorus of calls for Mayor Adams' resignation since news of his indictment broke on Wednesday. There are at least 3 other investigations into City Hall's officials besides the one that led to Mr. Adams' indictment. 4 top officials have announced their resignations since the beginning of September, including Mr. Banks, who will step down at the end of the year. He and Ms. Wright are under scrutiny in a bribery investigation involving Mr. Banks' brothers, Philip B. Banks III, the deputy mayor for public safety, and Terrence Bank, who runs a consulting firm. Oh my God. Nepotism at its finest. Governor Kathy Hochul, who has the power to remove Mayor Adams from office, has said only that she would carefully consider the situation before deciding how to proceed. She spent part of Saturday speaking with fellow state leaders about Mayor Adams and the investigation. The governor and the mayor spoke for 10 minutes on Thursday before she released a public statement saying that New Yorkers deserve to know that their municipal government is working effectively, ethically, and in the best interest for the people, and that Mr. Adams needed to show the city that he is able to lead in that manner. On the call, Ms. Hochul did not specifically discuss the possibility of removing Mr. Adams, but she did tell the mayor that she wanted to see him take steps to regain the confidence of the New Yorkers, including by replacing some of the senior management team, according to a person briefed on the call. It is not immediately clear if Ms. Hochul has singled out specific officials she would like to see removed. A spokesman with the mayor's office declined to comment about Ms. Hochul's statement or Mr. Banks and Ms. Wright's wedding. On Saturday, the Reverend Al Sharpton, one of the mayor's closest supporters, urged Ms. Hochul not to take action to remove Mr. Adams, who has suggested that he has been unfairly targeted by political enemies. We're going to see where the evidence is, but we are not going to stand by silently and let Governor Hochul not know that some of us are saying, do not change the process and the precedent, Mr. Sharp said during a regularly scheduled rally hosted by his National Action Network. Mr. Sharpton's response to the investigation has been measured. On Thursday, he expressed concern that the intrigue might hurt national Democrats ahead of the November election. And that is the end of the article from the New York Times. We are finding out that the school chancellor and the first deputy mayor has gotten married. We have again gone over what has happened with Mayor Adams so far. We have gotten the opinions of the governor. Well, not really. Yes, the opinion of the governor and Al Sharpton, who is one of Mayor Adams' supporters. So like I said, Mayor Adams is supposed to be back in court this week. Not sure which day. I think it's the 3rd of October, if I'm not mistaken. And today is September 30th. But I was wondering if the wedding was planned or it was a spur of the moment thing. But as you see from what I read, it was already planned before all of this came down. So they just went through it anyway because it was already planned. So that's the update on some of what's going on with the mayor's administration. It is falling apart quickly. So many people have resigned or nobody has been terminated. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens as things unfold. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Check out all the links below in the description. Until next time, be sure to take care of yourselves and your families. Bye-bye.